Hello students, again I invite you to our e-learning grammar series. We have already completed 4 chapters: direct, indirect, active, passive, conditionals and prepositions. So we have to move to another chapter that is as important as the others, because without them the sentences cannot be formed, and without the use of them the paragraph will be totally valueless and useless. So these are the very important, and we should learn about their proper use so that we shall not be liable to make the silly mistakes at the time of writing. So today let us begin another chapter, that is, as it has been written on the whiteboard, it is modal auxiliaries. So before I start teaching about the topic or the chapter, as I always say you, advise you regarding the conceptual clarity, about the grasp of the fundamental things. So let us start with the fundamentals of this chapter, the basics of the chapter, the concept. Actually, we should be clear of all the concepts regarding each and everything. So, first of all, let us know now why they are called as the modal auxiliaries. Sometimes you can find in some of the books they are written only as auxiliary verbs. Auxiliary. So, first of all, let us now know what does auxiliary mean. Here, auxiliary means help. These are called helping verbs. Suppose, what is a helping verb? Let you know that when we write the sentence, suppose he takes tea, then it is the main verb. It does not take any sort of help from other or any sort of helping verb. Rather, he takes tea, it is the main verb. But when we write that sentence in other form, he doesn't take tea, or he is taking tea, or he has taken tea, then here this is the main verb, but all does, is and has, all they help. These all verbs, they help to the main verb take. And the main verb also changes according to the auxiliary verbs or the helping verbs. Here they are used just to help the main verb, so that is why they are known as the helping verbs. So auxiliary verb means the verbs that help to the main verb are called as the auxiliary verbs. But sometimes what it happens that, suppose when we write that he is is writing, at that time, is used here as a helping verb. It helps the main verb write. But when I write that particular verb, he is a teacher, then see, here is acts as a main verb. Without this, we cannot write, the sentence becomes meaningless. He a teacher. He is a teacher. Here it helps the main verb right. So that is why it becomes the helping or the auxiliary verb. Whereas here it acts as the main verb because without it the sentence does not stand itself. So that is why here it is a main verb. So in this case, the helping, some of the helping, not everything, but some or every verb, not all the every verb, but some of the verbs can act both as helping verbs or auxiliaries as well as the main verbs. Basically, is, are, etc. So, first of all, we are clear about the auxiliary verbs. Then, what are they otherwise called as? Let us now know their other aspects. So, we can learn the concepts or the basics or the fundamentals of modal auxiliaries. See now, okay, these auxiliary verbs, which are basically is, are, do, does, has, have, shall, will, may, might, can, could, ought to, dare, need, used to, etc. These are all known as the auxiliary verbs. And another term is used in case of all these verbs. Let us now know what is the another term that is used. Let me have the pen. See, auxiliary verbs, and as I tell you that these are also known as the anomalous verb. These are known as the anomalous verbs. Why are they called anomalous verbs? Let us now know why are they called as the anomalous verbs? Because of three things. Because of three reasons. What are those three reasons? Because of the three reasons, we call them as anomalous verbs. Why? Number one, they are used to form questions. To form questions. Number two, we use not or not to make negative And number 3, why do you use them? Because to form or make question tags, or sometimes it is called as tag questions. You are not going to college, are you? You are going to college, aren't you? These are ain't you, that is ain't you in actually in English. Are not is not there, they don't pronounce it, rather they just pronounce it as ant, A-I-N, ant, this one. Sorry, ant. Because in English, are not, basically in colloquial or in when they express or in the expressional manner, they don't use aren't, rather it is ant. That is why when we write I am a doctor, then its question tag becomes and I. But when it is I am not a doctor, then it is am I. See, as you know, this is not the chapter of question tag, but as contextually we come to this particular chapter, question tag, so that is why I am telling you. When the statement is positive, then our question tag should be negative. When the statement is negative, then our question tag should be positive. And the question tag must be or should be put in its contracted form. It should not be written in its expanded form. Rather, it should be written only its contracted form. Like, and I, am I, do I, don't I, would I, won't I, like that. So these are the 3 things. Let us now come to our topic, that is the anomalous verbs. Why are they called anomalous verbs? Because of 3 reasons. What are the reasons? Number 1, to form questions. These all verbs are used before the subject to make questions. Number 2, we make them negative by putting not or empty in its contracted form. And number 3, we generally form the question tag exactly what you are taught. That is why these are called as the anomalous verbs. Okay, so first of all, make notes all of these things. These are not required at all, but in order to clarify the concept of this topic, I just told you all such things. Now, let us now move. See here, these auxiliary verbs are also otherwise known as modal auxiliaries, special verbs. Special verbs. These are known as special verbs. So we should learn at least the sum of the terms that have been labeled against each chapter. We should have conceptual clarity regarding the terms used for the chapter, so that whenever we refer to or we confer any sort of grammar book, it will be easier for us to go through that and to understand them, to grasp the meaning. Then, as far as auxiliary verbs are concerned, we shall come later to modals. They are otherwise known as the modal auxiliaries or the special verbs. As far as auxiliary verbs are concerned, there are 2 types of auxiliaries. Or what it is? First of all, let us know about two types of auxiliaries. Two types of auxiliary verbs. What are the two types of auxiliary verbs? Number one, they are called as the primary auxiliaries. Primary auxiliaries. Then we should know about what are the primary auxiliaries. So what are the primary auxiliaries? Those are the, suppose you have to know about them. Right here, present. In the left hand margin write present, and here it is past. In case of primary auxiliary, the first verb that comes, it is do verbs. So many times we use the do, does, did, etc. So in present form, the do verbs, what are the do verbs? Do and does. But in case of its past, it becomes did. Then comes have verbs. So what are the present form of have verbs? Have and has. And its past form is had. Then others are be verbs. See, what are the be verbs? In present case, is, and are. And in past, we know it very well. The verbs are was and were. And participle form is been. And perfect form of this verb is been. So, we are now clear of all the primary auxiliaries. These are all called as the primary auxiliaries. Let us now learn about the two types of auxiliary verbs. What are those? Number one, primary auxiliaries, and another one, that is those are called as the modal auxiliaries. So, we have to now let us know about the number two, that is modal auxiliaries. What are the modal auxiliaries then? Exactly in the same way we have to write here present and here past. See, in case of present, we have our verbs such as shall, will, may, might. Sorry, it is can. Then in past form shall, it is should, it is would, may, it is might, and can, it is could. So these are the 8 modal auxiliaries. These are included as modals. Modals are the special verbs. Why are they called modals? Because they are the special verbs, number 1. They change the meaning according to their use. They have, or they can change their meaning according to the context, even number of person, even what, so to say, number of persons, even the tense and etc. So, when shall is used in present tense, at that time it expresses future. And when it is used in past tense, generally it expresses advice or something like counseling and etc. Exactly, when it is generally used in first person, but will is used in its used in second and third persons. So different uses are there, and because of their use as well as they don't have any other forms. Suppose shall, in case of go, we may write goes, does not go, etc. Go becomes goes, do becomes does, have becomes has, something like that. But in case of, or if it is, suppose go becomes goes, then if it is Ram is, then Ram and Hari, are, see the change. Be verb also changes according to the number of the noun. And according to tense, it will be are, it is are now in present, but at that, in case of past, we may write were. But here, whatever the number or tense, whatever that may be, suppose shall, Ram and Hari will. Ram will, but when we use two nouns, Ram and Hari, or Sita and Gita, then also we will use only will. So they have no change at all. In that case, they are the modal auxiliaries. Sometimes even I divide them into 3 types. What are those? These are the pure modals. And they have their distinguished uses than that even shall and will. That is why they are called as the marginal modals or the pure modals. Which one? The next most, ought to, used to, dare, it is called dare. Sometimes you must have heard saying, how dare you speak me in such a manner, like that. Dare, then another one, need and used to. These are the 5 special modals or pure modals. And we shall learn the use of each and everything as we have been prescribed. Only the modals, not about the primary auxiliaries, is, am, are, do, does or have verbs. But we have to learn the special use, how they express or how they change the meaning of a sentence, how the expression totally gives another emotion or another meaning with the use of the same modal. We shall know later in our next class. I think as far as this class is concerned, you are clear about the modal auxiliaries regarding the auxiliary verbs. Why are they called as the anomalous verbs? And what are the main verb and what are the helping verbs? And what are the types of the auxiliaries and what are the modals? So, this is all for today. In the next class, we shall again continue they are used, how in the different context they can be used to mean the different emotions or to have different meaning. Thank you.